So in life, there's an experience versus being. There's spirituality versus simplicity. There's a human condition versus a divine condition or a divine reality. There is I am and I'm not versus I'm not, which is the self being fulfilled or beyond the self. Bittul. Self-abnegation versus yesh. I am separate. What does that mean? So to connect to the divine, either we can be there to experience it or be divine. We can be spiritual, which is the human condition trying to be spiritual because I am and I need fulfillment in my being separate. And that is the condition of, believe it or not, the divine soul. The divine soul being enclosed in a body, part of the body, the condition of the body, right? It wants to be connected. Why? Because there is a sense of separateness. There is a own sense of selfhood to the divine soul when it's in us as opposed to in its source. Give me one moment, folks. Sorry. One brief moment. I'm just printed something for you. Let's see it. So I'll message you. So because I don't have access right now because I'm on. Oh, you know? Okay. Sorry. That's the divine soul. So the divine soul in and of itself cannot have the Shekhinah, the light of God, rest upon it. Because it's not in and of itself completely nullified. It has a sense of identity. I am. And I want fulfillment. Divine fulfillment. They're connected. But in and of itself, it cannot have that divine connection. Because the Shekhinah that it should rest upon an individual is only when there's complete self-abnegation or complete bittul, completely being absorbed in the divine. Can't be when there's something that has its own selfhood or its own self-awareness. So even the soul has a sense of self-awareness that leads it and wants to be just connected to the divine. So therefore, to have the Shekhinah, the divine presence of God, to rest upon the individual, it cannot be from the source cannot be rather from the soul itself. Even a perfectly righteous individual, imagine, perfectly righteous, holy person, he's got no sense of, ego, but cannot yet be truly one with God in and of themselves. They must have mitzvah. They must have the mitzvah to connect to God. That's the only way that they can be completely absorbed in the divine light. Because the mitzvah is only but the will of God The wisdom of God has no other identity but godliness itself. It doesn't conceal anything. It has, again, nothing but an expression of God. Whether it's the mitzvah, whatever mitzvah, being charitable, putting on tefillin, Shabbos, kosher, acts of loving kindness. It is the vehicle that we can be absorbed in the divine. The only way that it can happen.